Hello, good morning and welcome to ET Now's Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Varun Hiremath. Karunya Rao should be joining us in just a moment. She's running a bit late this morning. Let's get a move on with the headlines. We have a lot to bring to the table today. Nifty posted the worst day in over a month, led by financial stocks yesterday. Both FII and DII were net sellers in the provisional cash market I'm talking about. But today, there's just been a sharp reversal. That's probably on the back of the US Qs being really strong, 500-point rise for the Dow, and that has taken Nifty above 10,800 today. The Sensex is up around 600 points, Nifty up over 100 points. So we're really recovered smartly from yesterday's grim market movement. Now, in what's a key stock and key force behind the markets, RIL, that's our next headline there. 43rd AGM is today. And if you know this company, they have a track record of always letting out some big announcement in the AGM. So all eyes on that counter. It's fairly active, a lot of unlocking. Will there be any listing of subsidiaries? So much that could come out of that meet later today. And moving forward to earnings a little bit, we've had an absolute stellar performance from Wipro. Their Q1 PAT, EBIT, revenues all absolutely destroyed the street expectations. The stock is up 15%. It's a massive rally, and it's carrying the tech index with it. If you look at that, it's now within 3-4% of a lifetime high, and all your IT stocks are really on a tear. And finally, in terms of what we can expect in terms of earnings that are yet to come in the coming week, two banks, we have Federal Bank and Bandhan Bank with their results today. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that. Infosys Q1 also another big one today, and we'll be looking out for the COVID impact there. And all eyes will be on commentary regarding the return to normalcy. So those were the headlines that are really driving our markets today. With that, I think we're now ready to bring on the COVID headlines, which is our COVID update for you from the last 24 hours. And let's begin with the fact that COVID cases in India have crossed the 9.3 lakh mark. The government to control the COVID first, says Raghuram Rajan. Moderna phase 1 shows safe results. West Bengal has extended its lockdown till July 19th. COVID-19 is a droplet infection, says the Health Ministry. Over 50% of virus cases rest in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. India fast tracks to develop the COVID vaccine, says ICMR. Dharavi reports 11 new virus cases. J&K BJP President Ravindra Rana tests positive for COVID. And finally, Bihar allows farming and essential services. All right, let's also now get you some individual movers and winners from the stock market this morning. Like we said, it's on an absolute tear right now. The auto index is up 0.82%. The bank index, which I remind you has been lagging. Bank Nifty has really been lagging behind. Nifty is today up a solid 2.15%. Your mid-caps aren't far behind, so the broader markets are also exhibiting really good strength. The mid-cap 50 is up around 0.87%. The next 50 is up around 0.71%. And then your Nifty itself is up nearly 2% at 10,800 solid. So we're really trending positively. Wipro is leading the charge, like I said earlier, 15% up. Infosys 6.5%. Axis Bank 4.8%. HCL Tech 4.8%. And the Tech M 4.5%. So clear distinction this morning. IT stocks are absolutely killing it, followed by a sharp recovery in the banking indices, and that's what's dragging us up. In terms of what's pulling us down a little bit, which is quite disheartening, a Shree Cement is down 1.2%, a Bharti Airtel is down around 1.1%, an IOC is down 0.5%, a Nestle is down 0.3%, and an Eicher Motor is down 0.01%. So on a holistic view, the breadth is really positive, 44 advances and 6 declines. Now with that being said, earlier this morning, based on that absolutely stellar earnings by Wipro, we caught up with Radha Chandra, R. Srikanth from ET Now, the consulting editor, caught up with the management. Let's listen in.
I'm going to say bonjour, Monsieur Delacour. That's the only French that I know. Merci vous parler avec.
Wow, this is very impressive. This is the first time. Congratulations, frankly. It was perfect French. I need to work to be able to respond in Hindi. It's going to take a while.
Right. I just want to start by asking you, Thierry, the numbers, as far as the numbers are concerned, they are in line. People expected a sequential decline because the full impact of COVID was seen this quarter. Margins were a surprise. But what people are more keen on is what your strategy is going to be for Wipro. You have given hints yesterday and today at the AGM, at the press conference. You said the focus is going to be profitability. You're going to be obsessed with growth, that you are going to come up with a plan. So what can we expect in the next 1 or 2 weeks from you?
Okay. So, realize, Chandra, that I'm 7 days into the role. That would not be very possible or serious to come with a strategy so early. I need to spend time with the team and work on the situation where we stand and really look at the different aspects before structuring a real strategy. But it will happen. It will happen soon. Couple of comments. One, since just arrived 7 days ago, we are communicating Q1 results. Very proud of the team. Very proud of what the team has achieved in a difficult time, which was, as the situation over the last 3 months, with an obsessive focus on the safety and the health of our employees, but also on connecting and making sure that we were supporting our clients and not letting them down 1 single second.
We have a big ET Now exclusive lined up for all our viewers. Trai Chairman's first and only interview post the COVID-19 pandemic. Nayantara is in conversation with him. Let's cut across to that.
Hello and welcome to this ET Now special broadcast. I'm Nayantara Rai, working from home. Today I have a very special guest with me. He is the chairman of the Trai, Mr. RS Sharma. Breaking his silence is the first and only interview by him since the outbreak of COVID-19, ever since even the Janta curfew as well as the lockdown. A very good time to get him, a very timely interview. We've seen a surge in data by the government's own admission. For example, digital transactions have already surpassed its yearly target. And we are once again in the thick of a new telecom controversy. So let me go across to Mr. RS Sharma. Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for this interview. Hope you, your family and the entire team at Trai are indeed are safe. Mr. Sharma, I'll begin with the new hot potato, the new controversy of the day. It is to do with the pausing and the halting by the telecom regulator on platinum plans of Vodafone Idea as well as Bharti Airtel. Sir, I appreciate that this has already been appealed at the TDSAT, but if I could ask you that why did the regulator feel the need to intervene on a plan that Vodafone Idea had in the market for almost 8 to 9 months?
Well, thank you very much, Nayantara, and good morning to all of your viewers, and thanks for having me on this program. As you rightly say, this is my first discussion with any sort of media person since in the last 3-4 months, because we were busy with dealing with that this pandemic and how to ensure that the services, telecom services, are kept alive and kept going. You must have realized that in these times, telecommunication has been the hero of the entire sort of pandemic, in the sense that if there was no telecommunication, we probably could not have sustained such prolonged lockdown at any other time. It is only while we were physically, separate, it was only, due to telecommunication that we were able to communicate with each other and sort of lead somewhat normal kind of life mentally, at least, to think that we are all connected. I must also begin by saying that the telecommunication companies have done a wonderful job in actually ensuring that the services are continued. Their people have worked, the frontline workers who are maintaining towers, supplying diesels to them, and doing all kinds of things to ensure that in India we have an uninterrupted connectivity. That has happened. So they are really, I must compliment all of them to have ensured such uninterrupted service. I must also tell you that during this period, we have seen a surge of about 30% data traffic. As such, our networks are really transporting huge amount of data. But then, 30% surge is a very big surge, and that surge was also handled by the TSPs. Another issue which is important is that now the pattern of traffic has also changed. This traffic was generally in the daytime emanating from the offices. And because of the work from home culture, which had to be sort of incorporated or which happened due to COVID, the traffic now is emanating more from the home. So therefore, the pattern has also shifted, and that these companies were also able to handle. You are having work from home, you are having online classes, you are having teleconsultations. There are a huge set of applications which have come up, like we are having this interview remotely, virtually. So these things are more or less, all the meetings in the offices are being conducted virtually. So that has also, become, put the telecommunication infrastructure at the central and as a platform for every sector. So I must also begin by complimenting all our TSPs for having done a wonderful job. Yes, these have been difficult times, and we have had to sort of remodel, redeploy, rechange our strategies and thinking, and that is what has in a way kept everybody busy during this period. I wish you should not have started the interview with a controversy, but let me handle that. One is I want to begin with a caveat that the matter is pending before the Honorable TD SET, and therefore whatever I say will be without prejudice, in the sense that that should not affect our case one way or the other. Secondly, let me also say that the matter is we have not taken a decision on the issue. We have merely said that we have certain concerns and questions about these new plans which provide priority on a wireless network to certain customers. We just want to understand the mechanics of it. How do you do that? And of course, why I can understand, because some people are to be provided larger bandwidth, so therefore they are ready to pay more money for it, and therefore that why part is okay, but how part is the difficult one, which we are yet to understand fully. So therefore we have asked them a few questions which have been given to them. The TSPs have been given the time to respond to those questions within a week. That week will be completed on 18th of this month. That is day after tomorrow. So that's one. Secondly, let me also talk about two of those important questions. One question is that the TSPs have claimed in their plans, and I'm not naming the TSPs nor their plans, broadly the plans may be called by any name, but the logic of the plans is that they promise to provide higher data speeds on mobile networks for those people who pay more, or who fall in a payment mode in a certain category, like postpaid payers having more than certain amount of monthly bills. The question is, and we have asked that question, how can you ensure the higher speed to those customers? And that higher speed should be quantified. It should say that I will give you X speed, because when you sell a product, let's say you are selling 1 kilogram of vegetable, then you say it is 1 kilogram of vegetable. So you always quantify. So the benefits when you are making a plan must be quantified. For example, till now, I will give you 1.5 GB of data at this rate. So the GB is quantified. Similarly, in this particular plan, there is no quantification. It says that I will give you 1.5 times the speed. I will give you better speed, stuff like that. Now, let me, for your viewers, let me give a distinction between the fixed line and a wireless situation. In a fixed line, you have a dedicated pipe to your home or to your office, and therefore you can flow as much data as you want to flow, and therefore you can prescribe different data speed. But in a wireless situation, there is no wire, and everybody is connecting to a BTS, a tower. In fact, in 2017, we conducted an open house discussion at the request of many of the customers, saying that when we are told that I will get 2 Mbps speed or 4 Mbps speed, I must have the promise, or I must have an assurance that I'm getting it. So therefore, we went ahead and we started a consultation to prescribe minimum download speeds in a wireless network. And I just want to read from one of the persons, one of the entities, what they had to say. They had to say, as a TSP, we do not advertise or acquire customers on the basis of our wireless data speeds. Considering the technical factors beyond our control, we generally provide the wireless data speed on an as is, where is basis. There is no commercial claim on any specific minimum, maximum, average speed which consumers would experience. So essentially, they had flatly refused to kind of agree to any minimum download speed or minimum upload speed. Now, obviously, we agree that laws of physics apply in a wireless medium. It will depend how many speed one will get. It will depend on how many people are there in a tower, because it's a shared medium. It's a shared. So wireless, the BTS towers capacity is fixed.
Right.
If there are less number of people whose capacity to absorb data is less than the data generated by the tower, then everybody will get full speed.
I got it, sir.
No, but please let me complete this, because this is important.
Right.
You started this, so give me some time. But if there are large number of customers, how can you ensure the data speed? So that part is essentially, because it's the same fixed resource, you are now promising that I will give better speeds. You can't get better. So if suppose the speed becomes 0, now you can't divide 0 into two positive numbers, right? 1.5 times and 1.5 times of 0 is also 0. So that's one part. Secondly, if it is a common pool, if it's a shared data, and you now somehow by some technology are able to take out certain data for your priority customers, then who will suffer? The people who are non-priority fellows, they will suffer. Now, have you told them? You have told them that you will provide them, bandwidth at the best efforts. Now, you are basically taking out their hak, their right, and now giving it to somebody else. As such, people are suffering from the quality of service. Now, you want to further degrade it by creating classes, especially in a situation when you can't promise anything. So these are the kind of questions which we have asked them, that how can you improve somebody's service when you don't know what service you can offer? Secondly, how can you improve somebody's service if you can without degrading the services of others? That's question number 2. And this question becomes very, very important. Just now I told you, in a COVID situation where every child is studying at home, now you said, no, somebody who can pay better will get better speed and you can be offline. You don't matter to us. That's not fair. That's not fair to existing customers, if at all you can do it. So therefore, we have raised.
But sir, in the landline service also, so if I can play devil's advocate here, I take your point that it might be misleading. They may not have informed the non-priority consumers that, you will get slower speeds, or that we are giving the higher, the ones that we are charging more, better services, better speeds. But sir, even in the landline services, isn't that already the case where you actually have different pricing, where the consumer is aware that at this rate I get this price?
Probably you are not listening to when I made this point that landline is quite different from the wireless situation. In a landline situation, you have a dedicated pipe to your home, right? There is no rivalry, there is no sharing with anybody. So therefore, you can always say, I will supply you is that the 2 Gbps speed, 20 Mbps speed, that speed you can charge and you can supply. But that's precisely what I'm saying. People generally confuse that because landline it happens, therefore it should happen in wireless. It does not happen in wireless because in a wireless situation, the pi is fixed. The total throughput of a tower is fixed. The number of customers are variable, and then they get it at the best effort basis on the basis of sharing. And there also, there's no guarantee of any bandwidth because you don't know how many people will be there in a particular point of time in a particular area, how much distance they will be. So there are multiple factors they themselves have admitted in our consultation. Now, if that is the case, how can you sort of ensure that somebody will get better speed or somebody will get less speed? Number one. Number two, even if you do, then what happens of your contract with the earlier fellows who have actually subscribed to you on the basis of this shared principle? This is ridiculous. So anyway, the wireline thing is completely different, Nayantara, and I think.
Would you also?
Yeah. Please.
Okay. Sir, I also wanted to ask you my final question on this topic, sir, and then let's move on to the others, including the fantastic work that is being done by the industry, by the TRAI. I want to talk about that 30% surge in data, so I'll make this my final question on this controversial topic. So how do you react to the charges that have been leveled by Vodafone Idea that, that this halting of the plan is erroneous? We've all read those media reports that why was the TRAI in a hurry? It issued the orders on a Saturday, only gave 48 hours to respond before halting.
Well, the point is, one is we have not told the Vodafone Idea Limited to stop the service of the persons or the customers who are already on the plan. So that's number one. We are not causing any harm to the existing customers. However, in view of the facts which I explained to you as to how you are charging more money from the customers without giving them a very quantifiable assurance, that certainly is not in the interest of the customers. And therefore, what we had said was that please respond to our question within a week. In the meanwhile, please don't make any customers. That's the only thing which we have said. So therefore, why we have said is that suppose it turns out that what is being done is not correct, then the customers will suffer. What is being done which is not really good enough for the customers, because after all, TRAI also has the responsibility of protecting the interest of the customers. So that we have not, and in the case of Airtel, I think Airtel had advertised it but not made any customers, so they have not. We just said that we'll dispose of this issue very quickly once you satisfy us on our questions. Hereafter, you are free to do, because in any case, we don't interfere in the tariff. However,
that's the big ET Now exclusive that we just got for you. Trai Chairman's first and only interview after the COVID pandemic. He got candid with my colleague Nayantara Rai, speaking about the fact that they've not taken any decision yet on Telco's premium plan. They've raised concerns on their plans and asked a few questions just to get in some clarity. They've given a week time to Telcos to reply and want to understand exactly how these works. Of course, a whole host of other issues being discussed. We'll get you glimpses from these interviews all through the day. Right now, slipping into a break. Plenty more when we come back. Stay tuned.